You a faggot, and that's no homophobic slur. One post on Tumblr, ain't no plan for the culture. Cease and desist, you a daddy dick rider. Jacked up, scruffy, growling, grinder, eating Tyler's ass. Don't make you a creator. Ask me who Frank Ocean is, I don't know her. Faggots on the sideline, get in the game. Put down your mimosas in your brunch and Sundays. Guess disrespected, no more Mr. Nice Guy. Kung Fu fighting, Billy clubs and chains. True blood Lafayette, make them eat AIDS. Omar the Wild, a shotgun in their face. Fag vigilantes not tolerating hate. Rainbow Railroad in a path to liberate. Radical fairies, scream queens give me strength. Elevate, empower, art, history unerased. Oh, that's right. Goddamn right it is. Oh, yeah. Nothing. True blood Lafayette, make them eat AIDS. Omar the Wild, a shotgun in their face. Fag vigilantes not tolerating hate. Rainbow Railroad in a path to liberate. Radical fairies, scream queens give me strength. Elevate, empower, our history unerased. History unerased.
Oh, yes, bitches.
You motherfuckers, this is the Nothing Sacred interview with Deadlee. I am Cruise Control.
I am Maxwell Silverhammer. And Deadlee, for all that don't know or who have been under a rock, is a Chicano openly gay rapper.
Yes,
so,
and that song that we just listened to was Faggot's World. And that's the name that he fucking called it. Don't get all you too bitchy on us, folks.
Yeah, that's his song, man. And he's a gay dude. What's up, Deadlee, man? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for joining
us. What's up, Max? What's up, Cruz? Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem, man. So, so let's just get into it. So you decided, not to allow yourself to be who you are, but to say fuck it. Like, how long have you been doing this shit? How long have you been making rap music and being openly gay about it? I guess is the. I mean, is there like a subgenre or whatever? I guess we'll go into that, right, Max?
I started about like 2000. Whenever Eminem was real big, I was working at these group homes for gay kids, and there was these gay kids always singing, rapping the Eminem lyrics, and Eminem at that time really kind of had some kind of homophobic lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you know what? Just as a challenge, I told these kids, watch, I'm going to be a rapper, and I'm going to be an open gay rapper. So I just took it as a challenge, just because I said, look at these gay kids. They don't really have any role models out there. So I just took it as a challenge. Went out there, found a producer, and just started, just creating who I was. And it didn't start out to be rap music at all. I said, let me just see what kind of stuff I come out with.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I was just starting to be real with my producer. Was really about saying, you've got to be real. That's what hip hop's about. So don't be fake. Whatever you're living, put that on wax.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was a gay dude. So that's pretty much what I started rapping about.
Yeah. I mean, why not? I guess the only danger in that is making yourself only about that. Cause in a lot of ways, obviously, I'm sure you're as Max is a guy who happens to be blind. Like you're just a guy who happens to be gay, so it's
that
almost
raps,
like it seems like because Max didn't want to get into the whole blind rapper cliche,
Yeah, right.
Pigeonhole himself like that. But then again, if your purpose was to actually say, hey, like you can be openly gay and be a rapper at the same time, and actually kind of say shit that's kind of like harsh, like rough a little bit, because your stuff is not like I'm gay and rainbows. You're.
Well, that's an interesting point too, man, because apparently your music was not accepted by the gay community. I hate that term, by the way, but
I do too.
Was not accepted by the gay community, as it were, at the time. Man, talk about that a little bit.
My first CD was Seven Deadlee Sins. It was more subversive, if anything. Like it was gay stuff in there, but like I do a song based on this movie Cruising with Al Pacino, where he was he went undercover as a gay dude, cop, to find out who was killing all the gays in Central Park. And so, I would like sample from the movie. There was a line in there where the killer would be like, who's there? Who's here? I'm here. You're here. So I sampled that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it was really, I would try to hide the gay stuff. It was really underneath it. I had a song called Drag On, And the lesbian song, I had a song there was like, I was trying to confuse people a little bit. Where it's like, I'm straight, I just like men, but some of my best friends are lesbians. And,
yeah, gotcha.
And then I even have a song called Carnival in my mind where it was, being a brown dude in L.A. during the 90s or early 2000s, living in the Rampart area, man, I was stopped by cops almost on the daily and roughed up. And so I had a whole song called Carnival in my mind where I just imagined, like, what if I would make this song more sexual as far as like, so I can get through this stop. So it'd be like, turn around, hands on your head, face down, legs spread, straight up and down to see some ass, rubber gloves, all in my crack. So I was just trying to like say, look, it was almost just a way for me to get through these moments.
Right.
And so, I just kind of make it like a fantasy.
You should bump that while you're driving so that when the cops pull you over, they're hearing that and they go, I think we'll just let you go.
Right. Like he's enjoying us patting down. What the fuck?
Cruz, on the real, that's funny you would say that, fool, because what happened is like I was getting stopped so often and I said, I'm really getting tired of this. I said, what if I would just pull the gay card? So what I did is I'd always have some gay magazines there, Frontiers, Gay Times, whatever the magazines were at the time. I just leave in my passenger seat. So when the cops would pull me over, they'd see these magazines and they'd say, what are you doing? Who are you? I said, oh, and I'd always throw this out. I said, oh, I'm a gay rapper. I'm going to the studio. and it would really just throw them the fuck off. They're like, what the fuck? So I said, I'm throwing my gay card out there. Fuck it. Because in LA, they're not gonna mess with the gay community.
No. That's LA.
That's interesting. That's an interesting kind of I guess contrast there with that whole thing is that you're brown. All right. Oh, wait, you're gay. Okay. Like it's these fucking fighting identities. This is why I'm not Max and I are not really in identity politics in the pride, because it's all these little groups, and whichever one is like the one that they're not going to be offended by, you can be saved by it,
Right.
Oh, exactly.
Like,
well, like we always joke about playing the blind card. Like, I'm blind, I can get away with all kinds of shit, and actually, it has happened.
Wait. So who's blind, Max? You're blind?
I am. Yes, I am blind. I'm blind.
I'm legally blind. I'm blind in one eye and 240, 2400 vision in my right. So I get the worst of both worlds, I guess you could say.
So both. So I'm completely blind and he has some vision. So that's how
were you born blind, Max? Or
I was, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right. And actually, I got a quick funny thing to tell you. I was going to tell you this. I use screen reading software. A program called JAWS to navigate on the computer. And when it pronounces your name, it says Deedlee. So it says Deedlee. So,
Deedlee.
but you know what? Let me ask you this: how was the Chicano hip hop community? The Proper Dos and Brown Side and those kind of guys. How did they react to what you were doing?
I never really got into that crew. I mean, I love that kind of music, and Lil Rob and all those, Mr. Criminal, all those guys. I love that stuff, but I never really, I think, got into that realm. And I am like Chicano, but my dad is black and white. My mom's Latina Chicana, so I'm kind of mixed. So I don't think I really fit into anywhere, category. So, but there are some stories where I would do some ciphers, different things, and as soon as they found out like I was gay, some of these people would just leave when it was my turn to rap, or they turned their backs on me. That happened plenty of times.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that shit just kind of motivated me more, put more fire under me, because I'm like, oh, look at the power I have just for being open with my sexuality. And these fools are just like so intimidated. They're gonna walk off.
Yeah.
So,
it's really their loss. Fuck them.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, and it's also a fucking hypocrisy. Oh yeah, we're so oppressed. We're so oppressed for our color of our skin. Oh, you're gay? I'm turning my back on you, fucker, for just wanting to suck dick. Oh, boo.
Right.
It's fucking deal, man. Seriously.
Yeah.
Fucking cares, man. Like, I don't give a fuck what you do with your fucking personal time.
Right.
You know, if you want to rap about it and it's your experience, that's what fucking music and art is about, is expressing yourself to other people to get them to see shit from your perspective. It's one of the reasons that it's so powerful. So yeah, if they're gonna be, seriously, they can figuratively go suck a dick while you're talking about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that's one of my songs was called "Suck My Gun." And so I just went. My second album, I told you, with the first album was kind of more subversive or whatever. Is that the right word? Am I saying that word right?
Yeah, basically almost like subtle, like more subtle in your stuff. But it's still subversive because it's basically putting the idea there, but it's not being like so outward about it. It's kind of like subtle and subversive. Yeah.
Okay, I'm saying the right word. I just didn't want to come off.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. We think so.
Unless we're all wrong, we're all fucking wrong.
Well, then we all look stupid. Fuck it, you know. But this is now you're talking about the Assault with a Deadly Weapon, right?
Yeah, Assault with a Deadly Weapon, where I actually got signed by Acronym Records. What happened is when I put that first album out, there was a magazine called Blue from Australia that they found out I was rapping and I was a gay dude, and my photographer submitted some photos of mine, naked photos, and so they ran out in Australia in this big magazine out there, and they did an article about I was a gay rapper in L.A. with these nude photos. Well, so, some cats in Oakland saw that, and there was actually a community of gay rappers which I had no idea about. And they threw a cipher like every year. And so they invited me, like I think it was in 2004, to their cipher, and I met like about 15 other gay rappers, and we put on shows, and it ended up being a big community. And they were filming about it. There was a called Pick Up the Mic. You guys can see this movie called Pick Up the Mic.
It's on YouTube, isn't it?
I think you can rent it on Apple TV or
okay.
Okay, or Amazon.
Yeah, and so. It's called Pick Up the Mic, and it's all about that scene.
And it's called homohop, right?
No, well, yeah, that was the scene. They kind of tagged it homohop, and just Pick Up the Mic they followed us around for a couple years and our different events and stuff. And so that's where Matt Wobensmith, the owner of Acronym, he just signed me to a contract, and so he put out this Assault with a Deadly Weapon. In that album, I decided, okay, this one, instead of being, what's the word again? Cruz?
Subversive?
Subtle.
There you go.
Subtle.
You can just say the word whenever I can.
Yeah, subtle versus subtle.
Yeah, so the second album, I said, you know what, I'm going to go all up in your face with it, just to go the complete different way. So that's why I opened the album with Suck My Gun. And of course, the whole Assault with a Deadly Weapon. It's you know what the weapon is.
Your dick.
Yeah, exactly. And Suck My Gun. It wasn't a real gun. It was my dick. So I just decided to go all that way. And I was motivated more by like the female rappers who would, like Lil Kim at the time, who was always talking about, sucking Puerto Rican dicks, and it was 8 inches and 10 inches and this and that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's pretty funny also, I'm sure. Oh my God, a gay rapper. I'm like, people have been talking about fucking in rap for 30 fucking years.
Right. Just fucking different thing now.
Just fucking different thing. Like what the fuck? So another interesting question. Or do you want to go into another track and then we'll come back after that? Let's do that.
All right. Okay. What do you think we should listen to? No Fags Allowed?
Let's do it, man. That's on the Assault with a Deadly Weapon.
Okay, cool. That actually works. So this is No Fags Allowed. We got Deadly on the Nothing Sacred interview. We'll be back in just a few.
Okay, sounds good. We'll be right back, bitches.
You're sitting in the classroom and your dick gets hard. I know you Dutch boy Deadlee, never call me DL. I'm more like down and out, represent on the real. They say a fag is a feminine acting guy, but to me it's anybody got something to hide. George Bush is a faggot for sending the soldiers, even though there's no evidence to support what they told us. BET is a faggot for dogging Michelle and Daygate, then playing homophobic hip-hop and reggae. Eminem is a faggot for bragging on beating his wife. Every fake ass rapper's just a fag with a mic, always looking for the lesser one to fuck with. That's a bitch move. You just another spoiled witch dude. Wanna flaunt your possessions and flaunt your weapons, but you don't wanna know who I'm sweating because you're threatened. When I was a small boy, the smaller boys talked to me. Now that they grown up together, they're afraid of what they see. Started with fantasies, crossing into reality. Now I'm a felon in 14 states. Stop hounding me when the Batiman Taliban come for me. Will these dudes have my back, or will they run from me? Fags.
Pop you, pound you, slap you around. Who the punk now?
No fags allowed.
Stomp you, clown you, beat your ass down. Who the punk now?
No fags allowed.
Pop you, pound you, slap you around. Who the punk now?
No fags allowed.
Stomp you, clown you, beat your ass down. Who the punk now?
No fags allowed.
This beat is pounding heavy, real hard to ignore. You thought it was a battle, now this is fucking war.
We got shock jocks, bashers, and cops, they can't fade us. Popping they rocks and rest stops and still hate us.
Now you got you taking Deadly 8 on all fours. Sprawling, falling, pull you down for more.
You the son of a preacher, what you know about queers? Ain't I seen your ass stalking around the Chelsea Piers?
Who's here? I'm here. Shit you don't wanna hear. Faggot, look in the mirror. You're the one that you fear.
From punk rock to hip hop to poetry slams, we running up on that ass because it runs in the fam.
Ain't nothing but deadly, baby. Fucking niggas all day like crazy.
The straight cats wanna make us rap scapegoat, wanna blame us for the death of hip hop, but we in the same boat.
Pop you, pound you, slap you around. Who the punk now?
No fags allowed.
Stomp you, clown you, beat your ass down. Who the punk now?
No fags allowed. What?
Pop you, pound you, slap you
No
around.
fags
Who the
allowed.
punk now?
No fags allowed.
Stomp you, clown you, beat your ass down. Who the punk now?
No fags allowed. No fags allowed. Come on, no fags allowed. No fags allowed. No fags, no fags, no fags allowed. No fags, come on, no fags allowed.
No fags allowed. You know, the best line in there is by your boy Dutch Boy. And
Yeah, Dutch.
what's it called?
Yeah, Dutch Boy is his name.
Dutch Boy, that's right. And he says, you know, a faggot isn't just a feminine guy. It's a faggot is somebody who really has something to hide. And that's some real shit, dude, because you know, it isn't just when you think of someone being a faggot. Matter of fact, I think I've never called a gay dude a fag. I think I've always called straight guys fags. I've called more straight guys faggot, I think.
Man, see, you were on my same tip. You didn't even know, Max. I was doing the same thing. That's what I said. Let's flip the tables and you say no fags allowed. And it came from a whole thing where in West Hollywood, some restaurant posted a sign saying no fags allowed. And so that's where the idea came from. And I said, you know what, this whole concept too, where hip hop is basically saying no fags allowed.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just come back and say, who's the real faggot?
Right.
And if you
right.
want to use fag as a bad word or, you know, something negative, maybe we'll flip it on you and be like, you're the fag.
Yeah, because you're either not being honest with yourself or you're just a bit someone who's not accepting other people. So who's really the motherfucker with the issues, right?
Right.
Man, exactly. And Dutch Boy, I put him on the CD because I met him, I told you, at these festivals that we were doing. And plus, he was the first dude that I even heard who was gay and rapping. And they did a little article about him in, I think it was Vibe. Remember Vibe back in the day?
Oh, Vibe magazine.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah. And there was like a small little, you know, little tidbit about him being this cat out of Oakland. He's open gay and doing rap. And he's a white boy too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was just kind of interesting. I was like, let me put one of the OGs. So I've always considered him the OG of, you know, out rappers. And it was just, I said, jump on this track, man.
See,
and
go ahead.
it was badass. Like you said, he came with some real cool shit. My shit was a little more nasty, but that's just
right. But see, that's funny because I've never heard of him. I actually like his style, man. I might go searching for his music because I was thinking, damn, that dude's dope. So I like his music, man. I'm gonna have to check him out too.
Yeah, and I think
like I said, check out Pick Up the Mic, guys, because you're gonna see some of these rappers. Like, okay, these days, and I'm sure we're gonna talk about it. We got like Lil Nas, a lot of these people who are out and about. But back then, there was some really underrated rappers that, you know, that just didn't get their due, but really good rappers, good MCs, female, male, and the whole thing, F to M. There's a F to M, which is a female to male, a trans catastrophe. Just fucking badass dude.
Oh, cool.
Huh. What about Juba Kalamka? Do you know who that is?
Yeah, now Juba is the one who saw me in this gay magazine from Australia, and he the one that connected me to this whole scene.
Oh wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
so he must have liked those magazines that showed dick and stuff, and
well, you
and
know,
saw the article about me.
here's what's funny. In my little first brush with the homo hop thing, there was a guy named Leroy Moore, and you remember Crip Hop Cruise Control?
Yeah, which is the disabled hip hop, because
disabled hip hop artist. And I used to do hip hop. I used to rap myself. So Leroy had us come to this thing that he was doing in, I think it was in Berkeley, at University of Berkeley or something. And so what he did is he mixed homo hop and crip hop. So he mixed the two together. That's where I met Juba at. But the funny thing was most of the crip hop rappers were in wheelchairs. You know me, my disability, I'm blind, so I don't need a wheelchair. So the woman looked at me and she goes, okay, so you're one of the homo hop artists, right? And I'm like, no, I'm a crip hop artist.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I think that's the funny thing about that statement that the Max, about, the line from that the rap that hit you hard about that being is that it's about being real to yourself. Like
Exactly.
it's about being real. Like it doesn't matter what you are. Like if you're a straight guy and someone says, "Hey, I'm gay," and you go, "No, I'm straight." That's not you being a homophobe. That's you fucking clarifying that you're straight. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. Just like there's nothing wrong with you going, "Hey, yeah, I'm gay." Fucking straight sex. I don't know if it disgusts people, like there's that inherent
And it could
reaction, and that's fine if it does, right?
Yeah.
But I guess the whole thing is, like, if you're real to yourself, you can find these communities, and then you can kind of, it's like, I guess, a relief of not being alone and knowing that there are other people that are actually willing to do that kind of thing with you. But I guess my question would be to you, Deadlee, is don't you? I think the next step is for actual getting on a normal stage and not really having the groups, like you're just a rapper who happens to be gay. Is that kind of where you'd like to go with it? Because that seems like the best place to be would be, hey, this is Eminem. Hey, this is fucking this guy.
And Deadly's going to open up for him or whatever.
Yeah. And who cares, right? Oh, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's where you, or do you like the group definitions like that? Does that make sense to you?
I'm not really about the group because like I said, being a mixed race and everything, I've never really fit in anywhere.
Yeah.
And like, I wasn't really, I think even my record label more, they started pushing that whole gay rapper thing, and it kind of worked, to get some attention out there too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I ended up like on Tyra Banks' show. I ended up being on the Howard Stern show because Howard likes all that crazy.
Oh
shit.
yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So he invited me. He flew me out to New York. And,
wow.
Damn.
Yeah, I was up in the studio, saw Robin, Howard, and his crazy dudes. They played this game with me. Two of his, funny dudes, I forget their names, but, they came out playing Shaft or Balls, where, they were naked, and then they were just kind of showing like a little piece of skin from their package down there. And I had to guess if it was their shaft or their balls.
Oh, wow.
See, Max couldn't play that game. You'd have to reach out and feel, so it probably wouldn't.
Yeah, that wouldn't work for me, man. Fuck that.
Yeah, after balls.
No, that's okay. I'll sit that game out, man.
now, if it were bush or lips or clit, you might be like, all right, let's try.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I asked Juba when I interviewed him years ago, and he sort of disagreed with me, but I was like, don't you not? Because I said I would think the label homo hop would sort of be demeaning because it pigeonholes you. It sticks you in this category. You're a homo hop rapper. No, you're not. You're a rapper that just happens to be gay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, I do prefer that. But at the time,
yeah,
I think it just worked because, and we were a community. I think it just kind of got us out there better that way. And I think we laid the ground to where now it's just more accepting. Back then it just wasn't, like I said, even when they found out you were gay, it was like you were ostracized. So.
Now you said you came. You said you were raised in L.A., right? I assume in Rampart or in a harder area. Is that I don't know where you. Well,
that's where I went from. I was actually raised in Denver, Colorado. I was a Catholic schoolboy.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Yeah, and after high school, then I went to L.A. and just ended up being in that area. And it's funny, it wasn't until L.A. where I even thought about race. Even it's like I had to even come correct with my brownness and who I was there, because in Denver I was like the only brown kid in this white private school, and I was really kind of conservative, and then I just went to LA, and it's like I realized when in LA they look at you a certain way. So that's why I'm saying, even with the gay thing, it's like, even if I didn't want to be homohop, if they find out you're gay, they're just gonna label you anyway.
Yeah.
That's the problem, man.
Same with the blind. Same with the blindness. They find out you're blind. Oh,
you're a crip hop artist. You're a blind rapper. It's not like, oh, how about just be a rapper, man?
Not even with rap. Like if you're in a fucking store and people can't tell that I'm legally blind, and I sit and look at my phone real close, the eyes just change. It's like, oh, how can I help you, bud? It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Fucking son of a bitch. Max gets it all the time because he can't. There's no hiding it.
Right. It's just shit you do.
But it's like this goddamn. Oh, so did you realize that you were? Did you come out during your high school days, or when you were in LA, or was that something you had to kind of? I mean,
it's one of those things. I knew I was, what I liked in high school, but I just kind of kept that down.
Got it.
Right. Hit it.
And it wasn't until like I got to LA where I could just be free, and it was just like, I think one day I finally ended up at some gay bar. I'm like, oh, this is what it's about.
Yeah,
this worked. This is your thing.
Now, because it seems like in that atmosphere, though, in that tough, like, I don't know if you were in the LA atmosphere, the inner city or whatever, but God, that must be a fucking just nightmare to grow up. Obviously in a Catholic school, it's got to be crazy in its own way, but also with that tough mindset of like, coming out as like let's say you're a gang member or someone in that kind of community, that kind of atmosphere, and you come out. I don't even know how that could fucking be, how hard that would be. I'm sure you have experiences with the kids you were talking about working with in that way, right?
Yeah, but this is what's crazy too in LA. So I lived close to Silver Lake. They had this thing called Sunset Junction every year. And this is where I kind of got more comfortable with myself too, because, the way I dress is kind of more gangster looking, cholo, you could say.
Right.
I wear bandanas, the dicky pants. I have tons of tattoos. So if you look at me, they might think I'm gangster. And so I went to the Sunset Junction, which is, just a festival for everyone in that community. And it's mixed with some real gangsters, a lot of gay dudes. Mm-hmm. Well, so I'm there. I'm like, oh man, look at those gangsters. I'm thinking, man, the gangsters and the gays are getting fighting, because how are they even here together? In this,
right.
And then, I'm walking around. Next thing I know, I see these gangster dudes who I thought they were gangsters. They're all hugged up and making out and kissing. I'm like, oh, what the?
So it fucked with you.
Yeah. Fucked with me. I'm like, oh man. So these dudes are gay, and they just, I appear to be gangsters. And so that's where I just got comfortable, and I was like, man, I can be who I am and still like men and be out there.
That's cool though, man. That's kind of what that festival is about. It sounds like, where everybody can come together and there's no bullshit,
Yeah, no one tripped on you. It was really cool, man.
That's cool. Well, that song Soldier, which is probably going to be the next song we'll play here soon, but you're talking about coming out to your family, man.
Yeah, because it was 1995. I think that's when you mentioned the lyrics about 1995 is like where that really came to you. Go ahead, Max. Yeah.
Probably my high school time, whatever.
Yeah, gotcha.
Oh, okay. And it didn't go well from what it sounds like, right?
No, and that's probably my most personal song ever. And I know my mom used to hate it because it was true. It's like, that was the truth. That I came out to her on Christmas Eve '95, and it was one of those things like, I don't know what I was expecting. It's like a big hug and oh my God, this is great. No, it ended up being the worst fucking Christmas ever. And, you'd think someone would have died. And then, maybe she had hopes for me. Maybe she was thinking, I'd raise a family. I'm the only kid too.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a Christmas Eve '95. I tried to hide it, fight it, keep that secret deep inside. Want to do what's right, thought of different ways, what to say, how to say.
Yeah.
Well, that's
wow. One night, what was it? One night, one gun, one decision. And it was basically about, I had some suicidal thoughts, and it was about me sitting in the car, and it'd be like, would it be better if I just shot myself?
Oh, fuck.
And I think that's real. A lot of us have these suicidal thoughts that are gay,
Yeah.
especially back in the day. And
Yeah.
you know, we feel like there's no alternative, and we're letting people down, letting the whole society down. And so that's where I was, and it just, yeah, it was real personal at that time. But so what, that's called Good Soldier. Then I decided there was a Good Soldier part 2, which was actually about, I'm not going to leave it hanging, where, you know, you hear a gunshot at the end of Good Soldiers, so you think the dude shot himself, but in reality, Good Soldier 2, he shot, but he didn't kill himself.
Yeah.
And it's all about him kind of more or less accepting himself. And
Man.
I think there's a lot to be said though for people you telling these kind of stories, because I think people don't realize that a lot of other non-gay people can relate to this with their families. For me, it was religion.
right,
Where my mom was my race was raised Catholic. You know, peace be with you. You know, I can go through all that. You know, our Father who art in heaven. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's a Catholic boy. He knows.
Yeah. And when you say, hey, I don't believe in God, you know, and because my mom had to, you know, got a confrontation, and it was not good. And it was really hard because you really feel guilty. I know it's not the same. I'm not saying it's the same, but I'm saying in a way it is, because you're being honest with them about your beliefs and who you are. Like, I just don't believe this, Mom. I'm sorry. You know, I can't, you know, can't lie to you anymore. So I think people need to realize that it's almost just about revealing. It's hard for anybody to reveal who they are when that person, you're afraid that person's going to reject you.
exactly.
And that's the real thing is the rejection, is the fear of rejection and abandonment by people that you love.
Especially from your parents, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's got to be really tough. Now, there's a line in there that says, "I wish you were dead." Did she say that?
No, that's more like,
Mm-hmm.
I fucking hate you, faggot. Wish you were dead. That's me, like, hating everything about me that I ended up being a faggot.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, it's like, man, I hate who I am, and maybe I'm better off dead.
Wow.
You know.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's deep. I used to love to perform that song on stage, and you know, just get into the moment. And that was one of the best ones on stage. You know, I've been on like San Francisco Pride. I played main stage a few times. Opened up for RuPaul in Toronto.
Oh wow.
Oh fuck.
Oh yeah. So I've been around it. And what's interesting is I wish I would have gone to Europe, because most of my sales were from Germany and France.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually the case.
And I just never made it out there. So I always felt like, man, USA is behind the times, man, because Europe, when those albums were out, that's where all my sales were coming from.
Yeah. Well, they're more open. You know, it's not all image driven like it is here. And that's,
Exactly.
I think, a big part of it. I think that's why, because they embrace a lot of even the old school gangsta stuff. They still love that. Where out here, it's your image and just stupid shit. And a matter of fact, that's why I think some of these rappers that supposedly are straight, I think are closet cases, man. Like Lil Wayne and those guys.
Oh yeah, this is a funny story here, man. There was like, when I was doing one of these, one of my albums, I have this, I used to hang around with this trans girl. Anyway, I would call her Berdarchi. Berdarchi in like Native America is like someone who's like both sexes.
Oh, okay.
So Jody La Berdarchi was on my first album and a couple songs. So there was a signing with Russell Simmons, and who ran Def Jam.
Yeah.
And so we went over there to get I wanted to say, hey, dude, sign the first open gay rapper. I said, Def Jam was like one of the first hip hop labels. Look at the things you imagine. You signed the first open gay rapper. Like, you keep on making inroads.
Yeah.
Man, the dude looked at both of us like, well, like we just found him out. And it was that moment I'm like, oh, this is a down low faggot. And that's where that whole thing, I was like, from No Fags Allowed, that was part of my motivation. I'm like, down low faggot on the run.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's who that is. And that I always just had that vibe, like, oh, there's some down low. They want to keep it down low though.
Oh yeah.
They like that. They like the secret. Probably they get off on it. It's probably part of the reason why that gets them hard, man. They're like, oh, no one knows.
Well, I've heard stories, man, about like Puffy and all those guys, man. When I interviewed what's his name, Shorty from the Lynch Mob, may he rest in peace. But he was saying that I guess he used to do security for Puffy, and Puffy would have these parties where he'd want everyone to leave and have a bunch of guys there, and you know they were doing some down low shit. So there's a lot of that, man. Where you know, at least with you, you're open, and who you are is what you are.
Yeah, even though it was a rough road to get there. We'll talk more about that. Like Max likes to ruffle feathers and like to talk shit, by the way.
Of course.
but let's get into. I'm sorry. Is it just Soldier? I'm sorry. What's the song again? I'm
Good Soldier.
Good Soldier. That's right. I apologize. I knew I had to tip my tongue there. Okay, so let's get into Good Soldier. We'll listen to that, and then we'll be back on the Nothing Sacred interview.
Yeah, bitches.
Yeah, Good Soldier.
Faggot gotta get, now there's no turning back. Faggot gotta get, now there's no turning back. Faggot gotta get, now there's no turning back. Still remember the night, it was Christmas Eve '95. Tried to fight it, hide it, keep that secret deep inside. Wanna do what's right, thought in different ways. What to say, how to say, had to say there was no other way. Hate to break this, moms, but your only son is gay. Oh God, she began to pray. Fits her rage, rip the words off the page. You can change, who's to blame? So ashamed, the family name from this day on. Things will never be the same. I can't be a good soldier. I can't be a good son. I can't be a good lover. Can't be your number one. One night, one gun, one decision. One night, one gun, one decision. One night, one gun, one decision. These words resonated over in my head. I fucking hate you, faggot, wish you were dead. I fucking hate you, faggot, wish you were dead. I fucking hate you, faggot, wish you were dead. I fucking hate you, faggot, wish you were. Smelling me from head to toe, I know that's not your cologne. Why are you just getting home? It's 20 minutes after 4. Empty out my pockets, magnum wrapper to the floor. Looking through my hamper for cum, stained drawers. Stroking me, provoking me, say I broke the trust. Left a bruise, cry abuse, should've kept your mouth shut. Stop acting like a punk, thought you had nuts. I'm the fucking man, you just a faggot I fuck. I can't be a good soldier. I can't be a good son. I can't be a good lover. I can't be your number one. One night, one gun, one decision. One night, one gun, one decision. One night, one gun, one decision. These words resonating over in my head. I fucking hate you, faggot, wish you were dead. I fucking hate you, faggot, wish you were dead. I fucking hate you, faggot, wish you were dead. I fucking hate you, faggot, wish you were. Cock in my mouth, tongue in some ass. Guess it doesn't fit your definition of a man. Back of the cab, gun in my lap. The only way you motherfuckers gonna understand. Made fun, jumped, hung, left bloody and shunned. You faggots gonna pay for the damage you done. You faggots gonna cry for your dead gay son. Never underestimate the power of my gun. I can't be a good soldier. I can't be a good son. I can't be a good lover. I can't be a number. One night, one gun, one decision. 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 I fucking hate you, faggot, wish you were dead. Fucking hate you, faggot, wish you were dead. I fucking hate you, faggot, wish you were dead. Fucking hate you, faggot, wish you were dead. Dead, dead, dead.
So you guys don't even know what I look like then.
Oh yes, we do not know what you look like.
No.
That's
Which is kind of like an interesting thing because,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's kind of, it's not whatever. It's like just interesting because you're just hearing my voice and what I'm talking about. Whereas a lot of people, it's just about my image.
Yeah, I've seen you, but I've seen pictures of you because I see that have the album covers. But yeah, Max
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
My image is, more being like, I come across as being like that straight macho kind of dude. And so that's why I think I got a lot of, play out there. It's because, well, this dude is coming off like the most masculine dude ever, gangster looking dude.
yeah. Well, that's
gay.
although I got to tell you though, man, your last album, which is deadliest faggot, most deadly faggot in America. That one, man, you seem to get more experimental on. Is that a fair statement? More trip hop like.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of that shit came from my homeboy, Chief Red Eye, who, I did some acting out in Hollywood too. Once you're out there, you get the acting bug. And I decided to take some acting classes and been in a few movies. And I usually play straight in the movies, guys. Surprise, surprise.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Hucci Momma Drama. I ended up having like 3 hyenas where my girlfriends got 3 girls pregnant.
Oh, shit.
I was in Rampart, had a good scene with Woody Harrelson where he beats me up.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, so I was doing that Hollywood thing. And then I was in a lot of plays. I did this play where I met this guy. And it's funny because I don't come out and say, oh, I'm a rapper and I'm a gay rapper. And I was doing this acting thing. And someone knew about me and they thought they were going to make a big reveal. They're like, oh, Deadlee, you're a gay rapper, aren't you? I'm like, in front of like the whole, theater group. I'm like, yeah, it's like no big deal because if you Google my name, it's going to come out first thing.
Yeah, and if you're in a theater group and you say that, people are probably going to like you more.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
right.
Like, oh, shit, I didn't know. You should have told us,
Exactly. So I'm like, oh, really? Are you trying to, make, surprise everybody? Anyway, so I actually opened up this one cat. His name was Chief Red Eye, and he's a rapper. And he was the lead. We were both the leads. And this guy was funny because we auditioned on the same day. And right away, I did not like this dude only because he knew all the fucking play like the second day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And it's like my ass took like 2 weeks before I can get up and take the second lead. He was ready to go the next night. I'm like, this motherfucker.
Damn.
Anyway, he started talking, saying he's a rapper. So we started connecting. We ended up doing rap together, doing different stuff. And he's a straight dude. Mm-hmm. And what was so fucking cool is he just thought it was so badass what I was doing. So this whole album, pretty much, I wasn't going to rap no more. And he's like, you got to make another fucking album, man. And I said, nah, I'm not really feeling it. He said, I'll help you write it. So he is co-writer in most of these songs. And that's probably why it sounds a little different too.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, because he co-wrote everything, and he thought it was a challenge that he wanted to get into the mind of a gay rapper.
Oh.
And so a lot of the stuff he wrote, I mean, at least half of it he wrote.
What?
He inspired me to start writing again, so I ended up writing like half of the shit.
What about tracks like Area 51? I love it, man. Where it's something about your anus. I'm tired of being the butt of the joke.
Yeah. So that's one that he wrote. I mean, I wrote the hook, but he wrote all the lyrics because we just came together. We're like, okay, I'm living in Vegas now, the whole Area 51. And, that was kind of the big deal. But I said, what if we were talking about aliens probing and gay aliens? We're like, we're just starting shit up. And the whole Uranus just popped up in our head and everything. Yeah, and so there's a video out there too. I hooked up with this Patrick Kennelly, who's a up-and-coming video dude and filmmaker. Mm-hmm. And he filmed the video for us. And it's really out there. So if anyone wants to go see that, that's out there. You can check that out.
Cool.
But but the song is a trip. But like props to Chief Red Eye, who, helped me co-write most of this album.
Sweet.
And we experimented a lot. He came up to Vegas and basically we wrote everything in 3 days.
Oh damn, that whole album was done in 3 days, written in 3 days?
Yeah, 3 days. Yeah, we just said, we immersed ourselves. We got in my room here and we just said, let's do this. Man. And so some interesting things came from, I had a song called Black Fag, which is taking perspective of like a gay black dude. Mm-hmm. Fag the fuck up. I decided to come up with that instead of, a lot of people are like, man up.
Oh yeah. Fag up.
Fag up, motherfucker. You like be more fag. That song I decided to make the most gay as I could. So it's like, let's go with the most gay I could go. So like I said, each album tends to be more gay, man. But
well, you mentioned that Chief Red Eye, he's a straight rap. Have you had any really like famous rappers who actually stand up and say, hey,
you're dope.
You're dope. Or is it like big name?
I met LL Cool J, and it kind of threw me off because it's like I went to get his books. It was a book signing. I'm like, "What's up, LL?" And I said, "Hey, can you sign it to Deadlee?" And he's like, he looked at me. He's like, "I know who you are, Deadlee. Props to you, man. You're doing your thing."
Huh.
And
Wow.
so I was like, whoa, this
So he
guy
knew you.
was.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was really cool. And I wasn't even gonna take pictures. He's like, let's take a picture together, man.
That's cool,
Like,
man.
oh,
So he respects
LL was,
he respects that you're being you, man. That you're being, just who you are and
Yeah.
just putting it out there, man, and just being real.
yeah. So one of the realest dudes was him. And like, I met Snoop Dogg. He was cool. I think Snoop's cool with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I threw it, and it was funny because I met him in West Hollywood. I don't know what he was doing there, but
And I guess that's by the way, you mentioned there's one song where you mentioned, and you mentioned Cheeseman Park in Denver. And I used to have a guy I went to college with, and he made a joke one time that, that's where all the gay people are in Colorado. So when you mentioned that, I was like, oh shit, because I've never heard that since, he used to talk about it. So you had mentioned it.
That's an interesting song. It's called "Wearing the Fag," and that's another featuring Chief Red Eye, where he actually, he does a verse on there, or raps a verse, and that came out of my 6th grade teacher, Mr. Malaconi. It's based on reality. I come to school one day, and they said he'd been shot, and so we're hearing things, and I knew back even in 6th grade this dude was gay. The handlebar mustache back in the day. Real hair. His shirt was always open, real hairy chest.
Oh, shit.
And even back in 6th grade, I'm kind of looking at him like, wow, he's doing something to me. I didn't know what it was even in 6th grade, but something. And anyway, they say that he was shot in Cheeseman Park. Years later, when I'm older, it all came together. Like, dude, the dude is probably cruising, got shot in Cheeseman Park because he's gay. The whole thing went wrong. And so that's what we based that whole song about. Is you're in the park wearing the fag, you basically you're wearing your skin, you're the fag, you might get shot.
Yeah. Well, why did he get shot though? It was just
and so what we did is we just came up with a story saying like, maybe there's this guy, this very religious guy, we're going back to religion, who was out to the gays weren't right, and so he was going to be like a vigilante against the gays and be like
so he goes through gay areas and does like okay.
Yeah. So it was me and Chief Red Eye coming up with a crazy concept, but Chief Red Eye plays the gay Mr. Malaconi, and I play the killer. We thought, what if the straight dude is the gay? You play the gay dude, and I'm going to play the killer.
Oh wow! So that's what that's about. Damn.
Yeah,
see,
Interesting.
I love the breakdown of these. So what? Damn, man.
Well, I was going to say you are I assume from what Max is saying, you're happily married. Is that correct?
Yep.
Oh, cool, man. Congratulations on that. How long?
Well, why are you gonna throw that on me, man? See, I do know the anniversary's coming up in July. Because
okay. We won't put you that much pressure.
Wait, we're not gonna put you in the shit house. So.
Right, like you don't remember how long we've been together, motherfucker.
I guess it seems like you're. Go ahead. What do you say?
He wanted to rent a room in Circa. He said, "Let's go rent a room in Circa for our anniversary." I'm like, "Oh shit, when is it?" When's the anniversary?
Whoops.
Buy that shit. You got a month, man. You can figure it out. But I wanted to talk a little bit because you're happily married. I think you're right around our age or somewhat close to our age. In the early 40s and stuff.
We're in our 40s. Well, actually, I'm in my mid 40s now.
Shut up, Max. Shut up, dude. We're early 40s still. We're earlies. No, right. No, we're mid. Yeah. Anyways, I guess my point is you've obviously seen the culture change so much. I don't think it's all good from my perspective. I think there's a lot of issues going on. I think a lot of great strides have been made, but I really feel this like pushing toward this identity stuff is kind of crazy. Like
it divides people, man.
In my opinion. And I understand that the acceptance and stuff like that is great, but not I don't have to love you, right?
Right.
I just have to accept that you have your own life and your own privacy. And it seems like there's a line being crossed where it's like I see a lot of this pride stuff actually hurting people's perceptions of gay people in certain ways. And because I think there's a lot of gay people that don't buy into all this. And if you don't, then you're not really gay. Like if you are gay, but not into or have issues with you don't believe in climate control, or you're not into certain things like that you're all of a sudden not as gay as somebody else.
Like the gay handbook or something.
Like you got to believe all this shit to be gay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Max was bringing that up earlier, where I think we kind of got off topic, but yeah, definitely the gay community, they never really bought into what I was doing, just because I didn't fit the stereotype of whatever they were pushing, and there was a certain kind of gay that they're pushing, and it wasn't me, and so I didn't fit that whole thing. And the one time I did play, like, L.A. would never book me. San Francisco's more open, but L.A. would never book my shit. They finally put me one time on a stage, but it was the erotic stage. I'm like, oh, I'm erotic.
Okay.
they have a neurotic stage they could probably put.
Yeah, right.
Is that like right next to 2 Live Crew, or what? What's the erotic stage, man?
Yeah, erotic stage.
Wow.
Seriously, since I was an erotic stage, I decided to be real erotic for them that they too just push the envelope.
Yeah,
I know, man. Because I see a lot of like bullshit like in all these groups. Like, for instance, a long time, I don't know how it is now, but for years there's this feeling, this like bisexuals got the shaft. Like a lot of times,
right.
Like, it's like, how do you get all upset about discrimination, and then someone says, oh, I'm bisexual. Well, get off the pot, fucker.
Exactly.
Are you either?
Well, and I hear that with trans people don't like gay people, and I'm like, man, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck's wrong with you people? You're all trying to be accepted, and then you're getting pissed off about well, why don't you either got to pick a side. Are you gay or not?
How about I'm just me?
Well, you're just who you are, right? Like, fuck, man.
My deal, I think have issues, but it could be our generation. Like I said, we're from a different generation. This new generation is all about the pronouns.
Yes, yeah.
Where it's just not my thing. Where I can't, I don't know. There's all these pronouns, and I'm like, I'm confused. You want to be it, they? I don't, oh shit.
Right,
I'm
like
confused.
It's man and women.
So I call everybody fool. I said, like fool is like just slang for you, whatever. What's up, fool? Like a dude, homie, whatever. It's like, right. I just call everybody fool. What's up, fool?
I think
that covers everybody.
Yeah.
I think it's not a form of narcissism, honestly. Like, you want to be addressed by who you are to affirm your idea of reality, right? So I want to be called Izzy because well, too bad. I don't think of you. I think of you as a dude or a chick. You're binary, all right? You're either one. Now, I can call you what you like me to, but if you want to start have me calling you names like I'm they, like, what the fuck, man? You're an arrogant fucking narcissistic prick. Why don't you go whatever? Like, seriously, like. And it's like it's the same thing with all the exhibitionists. I don't think there's anything wrong with, but if you're in the middle of a pride parade and you want acceptance and you're walking around with a fucking dick hanging out of your mouth, that's not productive to me. Like, if I were gay, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? It'd be like a bunch of blind people. Like when you see the blind people go on field trips and shit, they have it on the news. Oh, a bunch of blind people went to Disneyland. It's like, fuck. You make me like I'm fucking. There's 40-year-old blind people going on field trips. Like, what the fuck is your house?
Right.
It's not gonna make anybody happy. It's not gonna make anybody accept me. It's gonna make people think I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Now, some of that where you're saying with the dick hanging out and the over craziness like that, I kind of got back in the day is because you're just thinking how gays are held down so long, so they had that one day just to let it all hang out, actually really hang out too.
Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha. So I just give them, that's not my deal necessarily, but it's like, hey, if you're just holding shit down, maybe that's how you relieve the stress for one day out of the year, because you have to,
or maybe I guess it's place and time and place type shit too.
When that image of that person is thrown out to everybody and it says this is
what gays do. That's bullshit.
Because there's a community, and you're a conservative gay guy. Yes, there are conservative gay people out there who are happily married to other guys. Dave Rubin, he's a more conservative, kind of middle of the road guy. He's on YouTube, or at least he's gotten more conservative. Yes, you can. The log cabin Republicans, hey, they're just as gay as you. They just don't believe in fucking illegal immigration or whatever the hell you want to call it. They're conservative. Right. You can't be that? Yes, you can, because there are. They actually have a group of people. And I used to run a show. I used to run a radio board back in the day at a place called a radio station.
God, that's that job.
and there was a gay show that came on, the two guys, and they could not get over the fact this guy was a Republican and gay. I'm like, don't you understand that that's limiting who you are? I guess does that make sense?
I totally get it. Like, it did not surprise me that even like with Trump, that he appealed to a lot of gay dudes. It did not surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a lot of guys that just, they're conservative and.
Well, it's the whole thing of them trying to dictate, you know, like,
Yeah.
oh, well, this is, if you're gay, you have to do this, or you have to think this
Well,
way. And it's like, fuck that.
The batshit stuff about Caitlyn Jenner because she dared to talk about athletes competing each other. Now they hashtag Bruce Jenner. They're trying to now deny even say she's trans.
like now you're a man. You're a man.
Now you're
again.
Bruce. You're Bruce now. We don't like your beliefs. So now we're gonna totally destroy your quote unquote lived experiences by fucking putting hashtag Bruce Jenner on his shit because he went against their beliefs. That's crazy shit, man.
Yeah, that is. That's wild.
I don't know. I think it's great that you're just who you are, man. And I think it's great that everybody is who they are. Just be your fucking self. But also.
And that's why we had you on, man, for sure. That's, you know.
No, I appreciate that, man. And that's pretty much what my music is. It's just being authentic. And I was going back to the roots of hip hop. I'm like, that's what it's about. You be authentic to who you are, your, you know, life experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that's what true hip hop's about. That's what I thought. And so it kind of confused me when, you know, mainstream hip hop was telling me like, oh, you can't say that. I'm like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? All kinds of shit.
Right. Right.
And why can't I talk about my truths?
Exactly,
man.
Exactly.
Keep talking your truths, man. Why don't you go ahead and give out some information about where people can find your stuff, what you got, anything coming out? I know you said you did your last album and you were kind of like not gonna
actually you know what, I do have one more question for you real quick. I know you went at DMX on your assault with a deadly weapon. do you feel bad now, or are you like, oh no, fuck that motherfucker? Like, how do you feel, man?
No, I usually go after the people I really like. I mean, Eminem, I think he's fucking badass. DMX was one of my favorites. You know, yeah, some of it I'm just going after them because that's part of hip hop too. Like, you got to go after, you know, so I'm the up and comer. I'm like, I had to go after your ass. Like,
okay. So it wasn't that you actually hated them as rappers. You just were like, man, I'm. You know.
DMX is one of my favorites ever, man. I'm like, you know, I was motivated.
You know, it's funny. I used to not like DMX.
Me either. I didn't, and then I started to
other rappers, and then you listen to him compared to the mainstream rap today, and you're like, okay, he's all right.
Actually, no. You know what? I started liking him at one point, like probably 2002. I started with the Great Depression album. I was like, hey, you know what? He's got some.
Yeah, what he was doing, Max, was similar to what I was doing. He was just, you know, he was just real with who he was, flaws and all kind of thing.
True. Yeah.
I mean, that inspired me. And the whole faggot thing that he'd be throwing out is just, that was the lingo on the street.
Right. I don't think he meant gay dudes specifically, you know.
No, whereas like Eminem actually came out and said like, do I hate faggots? The answer is yes. Now, he had a song where he was saying that shit, and it was like, but it was so odd because he would name like every kind of gay person there is. Like, Eminem probably knows the pronouns right now better than I do. You know?
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Well, and he would talk about fucking his own mom. So, I mean, you know, if you really want to talk about sexual deviance, as it were, you know.
Yeah, that's okay. It's okay to have a mainstream album about fucking your own mom, but if you want to suck your
suck another dude's dick, you're all of a sudden,
oh my God. In song. Oh no, you can talk about rape and all this kind of crazy shit in your songs and horrorcore and all that stuff. But having a love gay song, ooh, like,
no, can't do it.
Oh no, fucking hilarious.
So yeah, man, tell it. Well, first of all, are there any future projects in the works, man? You got anything coming up?
You know, when I moved to Vegas, I started writing more. Like I told you, I've been into the Hollywood scene, so I wrote I've decided to write a movie called Cholo Number One, which was, you know, I was always the Cholo Number One, gangster number two, thug number three in movies, and so it's kind of my experience in Hollywood. And I kind of made a parody with all those kind of Chicano movies like American Me, maybe The Loca.
Oh, shit.
Blood In, Blood Out. So
Blood In, Blood Out. Oh, I love that movie. It was brutal. Oof.
Yeah, so I kind of would parody those. There's never been a parody about those kind of movies. And then it was also about being like, you know, a Chicano actor out there in Hollywood. And it was kind of based on like Hollywood Shuffle. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Oh, yes. That was with, what's his name? Oh, no, never mind. I'm thinking of something else. The one with Eddie Murphy and all those guys.
Now, check out Hollywood Shuffle. Like, I can't think of the actor's name right now. Robert Townsend. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
But it was, back then, it was about a black actor coming out. So it's kind of similar. Yeah. But, you know, black actors at least made some strides out in Hollywood. The Chicano actors are still kind of down there, man. Like, we're still the gangsters. And, you know, we still haven't been able to make the inroads. Mm-hmm. You know, into other kind of roles, man. So I was writing that, and I want to start filming some of that, try to get that out there. And of course, there's probably always going to be music in my life, man. I love it.
Cool.
Okay.
and working with people like Chief Red Eye who keep inspiring me. And right now I work at UPS. There's all these artists at UPS, and they're all like, they're trying to record, doing this. I'm like, dude, let's get our talent together. There's so much talent everywhere, man. It's like,
Yeah.
So I'm trying to motivate them, like, dudes, let's get in the studio. Then maybe I could come up with something with them, man.
Yeah,
Cool, man.
that'd be kind of cool. Hey, that's and what about to find your music? If people want to go buy your music, where would they go?
Hey, just search Deadlee, Deadlee, and you're gonna find it all out there. It's on the streaming. See, I'm still behind, man. I'm old school, man. I thought you don't make.
You thinking of CDs?
No more CDs. You just stream the shit.
Yep.
And I'm not into that shit yet. But I do have the Instagram Deadlee2213 on Facebook, Instagram,
Okay.
Twitter, all that shit.
Cool.
So you'll find me. I need to do better. See, I'm not in that generation either, man.
Yeah. Well,
it's a whole new thing, man.
The whole new thing, and I'm like, hey, but the music's out there if you want to hear some shit. And I think we're about to listen to like OTUP, right?
OTUP, yeah. Tell me what that means, man. What does that mean?
Yeah, so it's actually like when I tattooed that on my chest, which is if you look in the mirror, it's actually puto.
Oh.
which is like
puto,
man.
backwards.
Yeah, but so when I see it in the mirror, I can see what it reads, but everyone else is just gonna see OTUP. And so that featured my homie James the Just and C-Loke, and they're straight dudes. And basically, it was just about being different,
Mm-hmm.
And that's more of my Chicano rap. If you hear that, it's me drinking some Modelo's and just kicking back with the homies, and that's just one of those songs that was the last song that we did. Those 3 days that Chief Red Eye came out, and we just said, we were drinking some Modelo's. We're like, let's do it. Do we have one more song in us?
And sure enough, that was it. Well, hey, listen, that's another point, man. Here it was. You did songs with straight rappers. Like some people would be like, really? They're straight? It's just a shock to them when really it shouldn't be shit. It's just they all dudes rap.
Yeah. Yeah. And like James the Just, Cricket Nasty, he goes by Mashika Brown now. He's got some cool podcasts going on. I think, I forget his name. I think something Javier, but he's got a podcast now. But those guys reached out to me. They were Chicano rappers out in El Monte, which is like a tough area of LA. And they hit me up because they saw me on some program, and they're like, dude, what you doing is true to hip hop. They understood it. They're like, that's gangster to them, that someone would just wear gay on their sleeve in this climate and just be out there doing their shit. So to them, I was hardcore being gay. And I'm like, that's pretty badass.
Well, that was the draw for me. It was, oh shit, this dude's real and he's good. He's not corny. You know what I'm saying? So that's what
exactly. And that's off the new album as well, right? Which is once again called the Deadliest
Faggot in America.
The Most Deadlee Faggot in America.
That's right. That's right.
All right, man. So let's get into that. OTUP, which is puto backwards.
Puto backwards.
How we know. Thank you so much for coming in and joining.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. And bitches, I am Maxwell Silverhammer.
And I am Cruise Control.
And that's the story there. Bitches. See ya.
Segment interview. Deadlee.
I guess it's going around. You know what's going around.
I'm not the one, it's obvious. Freshie popping out a bitch. Mary Poppins couldn't stop the kids from saying garbage shit. Neither could my guardians. This is what the product is when people just don't give a fuck. I'm turning to an audience like welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, get acquainted. It goes without saying. James the Just ain't playing, the just saying the truth. James raising the youth, ain't swaying a move. I'm going right on through the struggles, the obstacles, the pain of what's possible. The name is unstoppable. The rain is upon you too. Keep calm, you fool. Watch what rhyme I use. You can't stop the view, so let loose. I'm a mover and shaker while I'm oozing a flavor. Can't nobody save ya. I'm a shoot above haters. En el mundo estoy solo. Necesito apoyo. A chingarle el rollo. El mexicano es todo. Fíjate.
And that's what's going around. Cause that's what's going around. I guess it's going around. I'm proud to be American. I'm proud to be a maricon, yes, say I'm proud of the heritage. So if you're Mexican, American, or otherwise, start declaring it.
The piso. I'm about to be a maricon. I at least know I'm free. Let's eat frijoles and play peaceful. Just forget the Fritos and eat the chicharrones. I'm about to crack a Modelo Black and rap on a mellow track. Get a chela, you better get a tune, little fella. Yo, quiero a bull to grab by the cuernos. Concept said to say, soy loco. Red Eye said to say, soy joto. Silo said to say, I bust face. Jose says I'm a nutcase. You dead vato, attitude bien malo. Pisteando, echando putazos pesados. Push back, follow, I'm a tough act to follow. I'm a huge pito, glued to a rude puto.
That's what's going around. Cause that's what's going around. I guess it's going around. I'm proud to be American. I'm proud to be a maricon and say I'm proud of the heritage. So if you're Salvadorian or Guatemalan, start declaring it.
Yes, that loco is the last one out. Living in the south, I'ma keep on going, keep on flowing for 100 miles with a smile on my face and this flicker of the flame I lay. Cooking a motherfucker out of the world without no fucking trace. Have it your way. I light the fire so quick. Machine gun spitting these rounds like every day was the same shit. From Little Rock to L.A, always icing with full clips. The full flip, hold us up zero with ice picks. Ballistic with the sickness, rub my engine when I rip in this puto with style. Getting sick of being paired with somebody. Frontera, evil eyes o simplemente el demonio notorio, a desastre biológico. A chainsaw to this melody, cut a motherfucker in half and I slash like the last motherfucker in this pedigree. I got the energy to put the chesties in places that you'll never be. This is the formula, drinking it down, bringing it to your life. You tricky fucking fire, keep on burning inside the workings of a terrible mind. Who am I to think there's kinds of ramblings of a chemical running it through like fluid and moving and get you buried alive? A nutcase with the duct tape, trap within my mind, needing time like this. Had nobody hearing this fuck face. That's a day in the life. I'm a low life puto with a dangerous mind. Swear to
That's what's going around. Cause that's what's going around. I guess I'm proud to be American. I'm proud to be a maricon and say I'm proud of what the merit is. Yeah, it's going around. Yeah, it's going around.